everyone. As you can see, I've gone widescreen on you, and that's how I'm going to do a good chunk of these from this time on, especially for the movie talks, which is what this is going to be. Now, I know I've been talking about doing movie reviews for a while, and I'm finally getting to one. So, tonight I want to talk to you about Sharky's Machine. Now, this movie was made in 1981. It was based on a book by William Deal, who's a wonderful author. If you've seen Primal Fear, that was another movie that was based on one of his books. And that one's actually part of a series. That's the only movie that they did, but the Martin Vale character has a couple books. So if you're interested in Primal Fear, check those out. And it was directed by Burt Reynold. And he's also the star. He plays Sharky. Sharky is a detective for the Atlanta police. He's working in narcotics, beginning of the movie, and kind of through no fault of his own screws up a drug bust and winds up down in Vice, which is pretty much the crap end of the department. Kind of the joke is like anybody who fails to impress the higher ups gets tossed down there. And while he's down there, he comes upon a pretty big case, which involves prostitution, slavery, black market, drugs, and pretty much it runs the gamut. Corruption, but really it is one of the coolest detective stories that has ever been done, and that's saying a lot because I love the detective series. Any detective movie I love it. And this one is definitely at the top of my list. One of the best. I know, a lot of people are kind of anti-Burt from the 80s. I don't really know why. But, I mean, I'm a fan of Smokey and the Bandit and Stroke Race. But anyway, Sharky's Machine is definitely a movie worth finding somewhere if you can. I know when I was working at Hollywood Video, the one that I worked at had a copy of it. And you can probably find it pretty cheap online. Netflix, I'm sure, carries it. Maybe Blockbuster Online. I'm not playing favorites, just, find a place to rent it or buy it cheap, because I got this for like $5. It's a full screen copy, but still worth getting. That's the only way they make it. And it's got, the basic premise is, he gets this case while he's in Vice, and he stumbles upon just this huge ring of corruption, and puts together where the title comes from. He actually puts together a machine, another group of police and other investigators working together to solve the case that they've stumbled upon. And the supporting characters, you got Charles Durning. Actually, you got a lot of crew that he has worked with, before and since. I'm suddenly forgetting names, but just marvelous, marvelous cast. Burt really does know what he's doing in selecting a group of people to work with, because they just click. And, you got the people that get along, the people that don't get along, and they play their parts perfectly. And, it's just, like I said, it's a movie worth seeing. And is one of my, I'd say it's one of my all-time favorites. I watch it at least, once a month. Just pop it in. It's been a little while. Good when you're just kind of relaxing. And I've heard through the rumor mill that they're actually working on a remake with Mark Wahlberg as Sharky. And I kind of like that idea, especially if they hold true to the book, because the movie, the original Burt movie, has a lot of differences from the novel, and if they stuck close to the book, it would be a really, really interesting movie. It was like, the original movie was good, and I saw that and then read the book, and the book is incredible. Highly recommend if you are a fan of detective stories. Definitely pick up anything of William Deal's. They're all wonderful. But they're talking about remaking Sharky's Machine, and actually, it was listed as a 2008 release. I haven't heard anything else about it, and this was like 2006 or 2005 when I heard this, and I haven't heard any more about it, so I don't know where it is, if it's actually in production or not. But I'd be interested to see it. I really would. I'm not that big a fan of remakes most of the time. It's the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But this one I could see doing good with some updates. If as long as they went for like the reimagining approach instead of just a straight up remake, which actually a straight up remake wouldn't even be bad because this movie was not that well received back in the day. It was Burt's second movie after Deliverance that he had directed, and people were, I think, looking for something closer to that, and it wasn't really. So it wasn't as well appreciated. And I actually have to thank my friend Joe for introducing me to this movie, because it was one I'd heard of it, but I'd never seen it to rent anywhere. And he actually had a copy of it and let me borrow it, and I was just amazed. And so I definitely got to thank him for introducing me to this movie, because I would not be here singing its praises had it not been for him. But so that is going to be my first movie review. It's short and sweet, yes, but hopefully I'll get more in depth with them, especially with new movies. But that's going to be it for today. Just wanted to tell you about Sharky's Machine. It is definitely worth seeing. Find it, rent it, buy it, whatever you have to do. Just get it, watch it, enjoy it. And I'll see you.
What is he, auditioning for a job at Benihana's? Oh, you're funny, Sharky.